The Pacific Northwest is a place of stories, of shadowed forests and whispering winds, of rivers that seem to hum with ancient songs. This time of year, those stories feel more alive than ever. November transforms the landscape into something both beautiful and forbidding. The air hangs heavy with moisture, the scent of rain mingling with the sharp bite of snow. Fog clings to the valley floors, curling between the trees like a living thing, while the mountains loom above, their jagged peaks hidden beneath swirling layers of storm clouds. It's a land where myths thrive, where on a day like today, even the most rational mind might entertain the possibility of something like Sasquatch lurking in the shadows. For those who call this region home, the transition to winter is a time of change. The higher elevations, once accessible and inviting, are now sealed off under a thick blanket of snow. The mountains become distant guardians, their peaks visible only when the clouds briefly part. It's a reminder of how untamed this land truly is. Amidst all the darkness and mystery, there's a sense of joy, uncomplicated and pure. Today, Artemis has discovered snow for the very first time. At just 5 months old, everything is new to her. The snow is no exception.
Yeah. What is that? Mom, what is it? What is it? What's that? It's just snow.
Watching her bound through the drifts, leaping and spinning, it's hard not to smile. Her excitement is endearing, her energy boundless. As she dives headfirst into the powder, snorting and pawing at it as though she's uncovered some great treasure. It's a moment of lightness, a brief reprieve from the stormy weather and the weight of the season. I had hoped to do a little hunting today. Grouse and snowshoe hare are plentiful in these woods, or so they say. But with Artemis tearing through the underbrush like a little whirlwind, any chances of sneaking up on game is slim to none. And still, I wouldn't trade her enthusiasm for anything. She's learning, just as I once did. And every moment out here is part of that process. Artemis reminds me to see the world through fresh eyes. To her, this is a wonderland, a place to explore, to play, to simply be. And in her, I find my own joy. It's easy to forget, as adults, to appreciate the small things. But out here, surrounded by the wild, it feels natural. Watching her, I'm reminded that even in the harshest conditions, there is beauty to be found. The woods themselves feel alive, almost watching. The damp air muffles the sound, making each step seem louder than it should. The mist filters through the trees, creating a sense of depth that seems to stretch endlessly. It's easy to see why stories of the unknown persist in places like this. There's a primal energy here, a feeling that you're not alone, even when you can't see a soul for miles. Even without success in hunting, there's a satisfaction in simply being here. The forest tells its own story, one that's been unfolding for centuries. You can see it in the moss-draped branches, in the fallen logs slowly returning to the earth, in the way the river carves its path through the valley. This place has a rhythm, a patience, that puts everything into perspective. With the weather turning wetter by the minute, I turn my attention to one of the oldest survival skills, fire making. Out here, everything is soaked. The wood, the ground, even the air feels waterlogged. But there's something deeply rewarding about coaxing a fire to life in these conditions. It's a skill born of necessity, refined over years of trial and error.
You want to know how hard it is to get a sustaining fire in this weather? Really wet wood. It's hard. It's really hard.
With the fire lit, the warmth is immediate. The light a welcoming contrast to the grayness of the day. It's moments like this that remind me why I come out here. Not just for the challenge, but for the satisfaction of overcoming it. In a world where so much is instant and easy, building a fire from soaked wood feels like a small but meaningful victory.
Now, I am not one to do survival videos because I want people to actually think the outdoors are something to be enjoyed. And it can be a challenge. Today is one of those days where it's a challenge. But if you enjoy a challenge, that can make it even more enjoyable. I don't know, I enjoy it when it's a little bit tough like this. See if I can do it. Using absolutely soak wet wood when it's pouring rain and making a fire.
As the fire grows, the warmth spreads through the damp air, chasing away the lingering cold that clings to everything. The gentle crackle of the flames blends with the sound of the rain in the forest, creating a quiet moment of harmony. The scent of wood burning rises, earthy and familiar, grounding me in the here and now. I sit for a while, letting the fire work its quiet magic, a small beacon of comfort in the dim, gray light of day. Out here, away from the rush of the world, these simple moments carry a weight and meaning that's hard to find anywhere else.
So if you're wondering why I'm trying to make a fire out here and whatnot, one, because I can, but two, which I think that's one of the best reasons, because I can, but two, I want to smoke some salmon. I need to get a good base on this, and the only way I can is if I get a lot of coals and a lot of this to burn down. I need this fire, especially in this environment, to be deep-seated. So if I want something good by dinner time, that needs to be piled high with coals, so it could survive this deluge.
As the fire builds, my focus drifts to the forest surrounding me. The towering trees, cloaked in thick moss, seem to fade into the mist, their tops vanishing into the low-hanging fog. There's an ancient stillness here, a feeling that this place has existed unchanged for centuries, quietly observing the world around it. The forest holds an air of mystery, its dense undergrowth and shifting light giving the impression that it could be hiding anything, or nothing at all. The occasional creak of a branch or rustle in the distance feels amplified in the quiet, feeding the sense that these woods are alive in ways we may never fully understand.
I have here a wonderful salmon fillet. This came from the Quilcene River here in Washington. I caught it myself. And it's been getting all nice and brined and everything, so we're gonna put that right there and let that all smoked up. That's going to be absolutely delicious.
Out here amongst the trees is the kind of place that inspires legends, where the boundary between the natural and the mythical blurs with every passing moment.
Trap that smoke. Yes, we can. Alright. Get some cedar in here, shall we? Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Whew. Oh boy, that is definitely overdone. At least on that side it is. Whew. Well, you know, that actually turned out really damn good. Yeah, the edges burned a little bit, but whatever. That's delicious. My goodness. Mmm. Mmm. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. You know, actually, that's amazing. So in hindsight, the fire was a little too hot. Honestly, it's delicious.
This time of year may be dark and mysterious, but it's also a time of reflection, a chance to connect with the land and with ourselves. The challenges of the wilderness remind us of our resilience, our ability to adapt and thrive. And in moments like this, surrounded by the untamed beauty of the Pacific Northwest, I'm reminded of how much this place has given me. Today wasn't about success in hunting or perfection in cooking. It was about being here, embracing the unpredictability of the wild and finding joy in the journey. Artemis, with her boundless enthusiasm and unshakable spirit, reminded me of the simple pleasures, the thrill of discovery, the warmth of a fire, the comfort of companionship. I feel a sense of quiet gratitude for this land, for the lessons it teaches, and for the memories we've made today. The Pacific Northwest is a place of mystery and wonder, and I'm lucky to call it home.